From WRGB, the Capital District's leading news station, this is News Center 6 Update.
Good evening, I'm Ed Dague.
And I'm Mary Beth Wenger with news that the state government leadership is talking about a budget compromise at this hour.
They're trying to agree on how to finance additions to the budget totaling nearly $300 million. Those additions, or restorations as they call them, were agreed to at a leadership meeting this afternoon. State Senate Leader Warren Anderson apparently agreed to the additional spending today, although after the closed-door leadership conference, Anderson would say very little. But Assembly Speaker Stanley Fink said that Anderson and the other leaders, including the governor, have agreed to Fink's list of budget additions.
The restorations we gave to you on a list the other day, my colleagues have turned them to Fink restorations. I told them I plead guilty. And they have generally agreed that those restorations are salutary in the best interest of the people of our state, and we're going to work to try to finance them and get it done.
What do you get taxes?
That's all I'm saying right now.
Here are the major items on Speaker Fink's list, and as you can see, the money for state jobs is just a fraction of the $200 million plus, which would be needed to restore all of the jobs cut by Cuomo. This list helps cities and roads, but not laid-off state workers. Most of the items on the list will be put back in the budget if, and it is a big if the revenues to fund them can be found. And again, that is the topic of the meeting, which began at 9:30 tonight, which is still underway. How to pay for the additional $300 million in state spending.
Well, they may have more money than they think if a study that came out today is correct. Wharton Econometrics, a firm that specializes in mathematical models of the economy, says the budget revenues are underestimated by $133 million. That's contrary to the assessment of State Controller Edward Reagan, who reviewed the Cuomo budget. He said at the time it was as tight as a well-balanced checkbook. We spoke to Reagan just before he appeared at the Schenectady County Republicans' Lincoln Day dinner tonight. He says he's studying the Wharton assessment, but he says it's safer to underestimate than overestimate.
I'm inclined to think that conservatism is the order of the day, and I'm inclined to think that what the governor and the legislative leaders ought to do is what they've been doing this year, is get on with their business, pass that budget, make it balanced, keep the taxes as low as possible, and let the rest of us go about our business.
Reagan says the Wharton study could be correct. However, he's inclined to believe it is not. He'll have a final statement on the matter Friday.
Well, in the meantime, outside of the Capitol today, hundreds of public employees gathered to protest Governor Cuomo's proposed job cutbacks. The noon-hour rally was sponsored by the Public Employees Federation. Many of those demonstrating will be affected by the more than 7,500 pink slips sent out by the state. As the band played Solidarity Forever, those demonstrating hoped that their strong protest would save their jobs. While the public outcry continued outside, representatives of the union were inside working the legislators. The rally was one of a number held around the state today to protest the layoffs.
The controversial jobs bill that could help some of the laid-off state workers was shelved until Friday. The measure is caught in the middle of a Senate dispute over a withholding tax on dividends and interest. The bill also contains money for jobless benefits for 27 states that will run out of benefit money on Friday.
The House is expected to vote late tonight on a nuclear weapons freeze resolution. Earlier this evening, supporters narrowly defeated an amendment that would have allowed President Reagan a broader scope in carrying out the resolution. It looks at the moment like the resolution has a good chance of passing in the House, but it is expected to run into a snag in the Senate.
Just ahead on News Center 6 Update, the FBI is investigating the trash problem in Albany.
And entertainer Arthur Godfrey passed away today.
I've been reading the mountains, music
Broiling beef frying! Broiling beef frying! America's practicing for their free Whopper at Burger King. Because this weekend only, all you gotta do is buy one Whopper and say, Broiling beef frying! And get a second Whopper free.
Broiling beef frying!
Right, nearly 3-to-1 in a coast-to-coast opinion poll.
Broiling beef frying!
Buy a Whopper, get one free at Burger King this Saturday and Sunday only. Just say,
Broiling. What is it again?
Broiling beef frying!
When you want a hearty, natural cheddar for snacking, you could start with a cheddar wheel. Slowly, carefully uncover its ridges until its very core. Cut it down to a perfect size and shape for snacking. Then capture its character in foil at the peak of flavor. Or you could simply start with a package of Cracker Barrel. and open it. Cracker Barrel Premium Cheddar from Kraft. The best thing to happen to cheddar since the wheel.
What TV game show is charged with excitement?
As intriguing contestants.
Sexy lingerie.
Woo! And the most lovable host on TV.
I told me to kneel down at the end.
You may rise,
Well,
Richard.
thank you.
It's everyone's favorite family fun game.
I like your style.
The Family Feud.
Make the Family Feud your choice for television fun. 7:30 weeknights on TV6.
Broadcasting legend Arthur Godfrey died in a New York City hospital today at age 79. Andrea Naverson of CBS spoke with some of those who worked with him.
Everybody. He was dubbed the Old Redhead, a gravelly-voiced ukulele player whose folksy manner and way with a pitch won him millions of fans. Arthur Godfrey's radio and television career spanned 2 decades, and the people he worked with in those years remembered him today. Producer Irving Mansfield says Godfrey was difficult to work with, but he discovered stars that will outshine him.
Tony Bennett, Rosemary Clooney, Edie Adams, Dick Shawn, Eddie Fisher, Pat Boone. I think those people will be remembered longer than Arthur Godfrey.
America has lost another Will Rogers, a guy who was not afraid to poke holes in things and to reach out and to say, hey, wait a minute, that emperor has no clothes on, and take the consequences for doing it.
And take the consequences Godfrey did after he publicly fired another young star, singer Julius LaRosa, during a live broadcast. LaRosa said today he and Godfrey never mended their fences, but now isn't the time to reopen old wounds.
I gotta love him. I gotta say thank you. I gotta be thrilled at a year and a half of doing what I had only dreamed I would one day do. What would you expect?
And never know why.
Andrea Naverson, CBS News, New York.
A Troy police officer is being called a hero tonight, while the man he talked into giving himself up last night is behind bars, charged with murder. Dick Beach has the story.
Last evening, 46-year-old John Terry, a self-employed carpenter, was arrested for the shotgun killing of his female companion, Jean Dion, also 46, at the 2 Phelan Court apartment they had shared for about 5 years. After the shooting, Terry is said to have driven his green and white Dodge pickup truck to 68 Ida Street, where 2 of his children live. There, holed up with a shotgun, he told police he wanted to talk with a childhood friend, Troy Police Sergeant Pat Valenti. Valenti went to the scene, took off his snub-nosed revolver, went in, and started talking.
Well, when I walked in, I told him I was unarmed. You know, I told him I didn't have a gun on me, that I'd left it outside, and that I was there to talk to him and to help him, as a friend.
What were your feelings inside, though? Were you a little bit scared? Concerned?
I'd say definitely, no question about it. You don't look at a shotgun without saying, gee, is it going to go off? I even accidentally, you think of those things.
Jack Terry goes to court for preliminary hearing tomorrow, and the hero of the piece, Sergeant Pat Valenti, will most certainly be in for honors from the department he's served for a quarter century and the PBA of which he's a vice president. Dick Beach, News Center 6, Troy.
California Democratic Representative Ronald Dellums today denied charges that he and his staff bought and used cocaine and marijuana. Dellums, accompanied by his newly hired lawyer, spoke to reporters outside his office.
Another investigation into a possible violation of the law is continuing in Albany tonight, where the FBI has joined forces with the district attorney's office to probe the practices of the city's trash collectors. Ernie Tatro has the report.
The Bureau has begun an investigation of the city's trash hauling and dumping practices. It is an investigation that is welcomed by District Attorney Saul Greenberg.
This is certainly proof positive of my determination to make sure this is an objective investigation, and that no one can claim at any given time that it would be an investigation that might be considered a political whitewash.
The FBI probe comes in the wake of another garbage hauling investigation started by DA Greenberg last month. The DA was looking into reports that some private collection firms were dumping their loads at the city landfill without paying the $12.50 a ton fee. However, the FBI agent in charge of the Albany office declined to discuss the specific charges being investigated. Although he would not go into specifics, Daly said he does believe crimes have been committed. Ernie Tatro, News Center 6 Update.
Other stories making headlines on News Center 6 Update tonight. A Pennsylvania couple was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the death of their 2.5-year-old son. William and Linda Barnhart said they believed in faith healing and would not let their son Justin be treated for a cancer with a 90% cure rate. 5 American Marines were wounded while on patrol in Lebanon today. The incident happened near the airport when someone threw a hand grenade at the group. None of the Marines was seriously hurt. 2 Israeli officers were killed and 9 Italian soldiers were injured in separate incidents there today. In El Salvador, judges ruled that 4 El Salvador National Guardsmen can't be tried yet for the 1980 murders of 4 U.S. churchwomen. The judge said more evidence is needed for the trial to proceed, which could delay the trial for yet another year.
Nice day today, no doubt about it. Nice, warm, sunny day, felt like April.
And tomorrow, it's going to be a lucky day for the weatherman, and not simply because he's Irish either.